Jim Jones just can't stop talking, and this time, the lies have caught up to him. From twisting Dipset history to backtracking on old beefs, fans are finally calling him out for all the cap. The streets are tired, the receipts are out, and Jim's credibility is hanging by a thread.
The rock star look. Who came up with that? You or Joel's?
The rock and roll look? That's my look. That's my look. Joel's is my little brother. I started the whole aesthetic. Wasn't nobody dressing like rock stars at all. Nowhere near the game. It wasn't thinking about it. I created that whole style and implemented it into the hip hop culture. You dig? But yeah, I set the torch up for the rock star rap look. I've always been dressing like a white boy since high school. I've been wearing motorcycle jackets and shit like that since high school. I got a different style than most.
And I know Wayne, he started dressing like that.
Yeah, we gave it to Wayne. He came to Dipset school, was with us for a whole summer. He was with Wells for a whole summer. And naturally, his whole...
Man, at this point, it feels like every time Jim Jones opens his mouth, he's digging himself into a deeper hole. The Harlem rapper, once seen as one of the most solid figures in New York hip-hop, is now being called out left and right for contradicting his own stories, changing facts, and trying to rewrite the history of Dipset. Fans are finally saying enough is enough. What's wild is that Jim's been doing interviews nonstop, trying to clean up his image. But every new statement he makes ends up backfiring harder than the last. It all started when Jim began making his podcast rounds again, talking about how he built Dipset from scratch. He claimed that without him, there would have been no movement, no fashion wave, no global Harlem takeover. But the internet moves fast, and fans immediately started pulling up old clips, interviews, and receipts that completely contradicted what he was saying. Videos resurfaced of Cameron explaining how he put Jim on, gave him his first real exposure, and even funded the early Dipset moves. So when Jim said, "I created Dipset," the fans were quick to remind him, "Nah, bro, you joined Dipset."
Some comments about Nas that got a lot of people coming at you, man. But as a New York rapper, I want to ask you, do you feel like you get your respect?
Yeah, I'll definitely get my respect as a New York rapper. My name is CAPO. Don't let the motherfucking internet fool you, my brother. You heard? I'm from New
And that's just one of the lies that's been making Jim Jones' reputation crumble. He's been telling different versions of the same story for years. Whether it's about how Dipset broke up, who fell out with who, or who was responsible for their success, every time, the details change slightly. And the people who were actually there, like Cameron and Madollery, keep exposing him. Just recently, Madollery went on It Is What It Is and said, "Jim been lying on my name for years." But now people see it for themselves. Fans went wild after that, because it's true. Jim's been caught rewriting narratives to make himself look like the boss. Even his old beefs don't line up anymore. One day, he'll say something about the Locks and their Verzuz battle, then flip it a month later and claim he wasn't taking it seriously. He'll talk about Madollery like they've made peace, then throw shade in the next interview. It's like he can't decide whether he wants to play the victim or the villain. The streets are tired of it, too. Hip-hop fans used to respect Jim for his grind. He wasn't the best lyricist, but he was consistent. Now, the consistency has turned into delusion. Every few months, he pops up trying to defend himself from something. And instead of looking solid, he looks insecure. People are starting to realize that Jim's biggest enemy isn't Cameron, MAE, or Jadakiss. It's his own mouth.
Going around right now asking if it's Nas or Jim Jones.
What's the question?
Nas or Jim Jones?
I'm a Harlem nigga. I will never, ever disrespect Nas, first and foremost. Jimmy, that's the bro. That's Uncle Jomo. But first and foremost, he need to sit his ass fuck.
Nas or Jim Jones?
Nas.
Nas or Jim Jones? Nas.
Nas or Jim Jones?
Nas.
All right. Nas or Jim Jones?
Is that a serious question?
Yes, it is.
It's Nas, bro.
All right.
Jim Jones the clown.
Nas or Jim Jones?
Come on. Is that a question?
Yo.
Is that a question?
Hey, yo.
Nas or Jim Jones?
Come
though.
on.
I ain't say who.
Yo. Nas.
Nas for the
All right. Nas or Jim Jones?
Said Nas or Jim Jones? Oh, Nas.
Nas or Jim Jones?
Oh, Nas, I ain't gonna lie.
Let's go.
Fuck Jim Jones, though.
All right.
Let's be real. Jim Jones' biggest downfall has always been his ego. Instead of letting his work speak for itself, he's constantly trying to control the narrative, and now, it's finally catching up to him. In one interview, he'll brag about how he held Dipset together, and the next, he's blaming everyone else for his downfall. When fans pointed out those contradictions online, Jim got defensive, claiming people were twisting his words. But the problem is, nobody's twisting anything. The man just can't keep his story straight. A big turning point came when Madollery and Cameron launched their show, It Is What It Is. They started casually mentioning Dipset stories, and fans began connecting the dots, realizing that Jim wasn't the solid leader he always claimed to be. Madollery even said, "Jim talked like he was the general." But we all know who built the empire. It wasn't him. That line alone broke the internet. Fans flooded Twitter and TikTok, pulling up old videos where Jim called himself the CAPO, acting like he ran the crew. And if that wasn't enough, Jim got caught in another lie just weeks later. In a new interview, he tried to say he never had real beef with Jadakiss and Styles P, claiming the Versus battle was just friendly competition. But everyone remembers how pressed he was afterward, doing interviews saying Dipset didn't lose even though the world saw them get washed live. Jadakiss even mocked him later on the radio, saying, "Don't rewrite history, bro. You know what happened. Fans laughed because it was true."
Being honest, right? And you looking back at your career, where will you rank yourself among New York rappers? Top 10, top 15, top 20?
Where did I rank myself? I don't care about top 10 ranks. I care about the money. You heard? And you talking about all these artists that came in after me. I came in after them, Rob, you heard? And I started as a hype man. And right now I am the hype man, as you can see all over the internet. Big difference, you heard? I'm talking about present day and what we're doing right now. I ain't worried about what's going on in the past. I don't worry about what you used to do or what you used to do. What can you do right now? You heard? And if you're not in it, you're not in it. You dig? But I'm in it wholeheartedly. And I wrap circles around anybody who beg to differ. Tell them meet me in the booth. That's all we got to talk about. Ain't no shot at no one in particular person. But yeah, you know what's up. I'm from that era. Engagement era. You heard?
Then there's the stuff about MAE. Jim Jones has been trying to downplay their issues, acting like it was all love and just a misunderstanding. But fans remember when he was going on rants, calling Ma Dollar a fake pastor and throwing shots about money. Now suddenly it's all love. Nah, people see right through it. He's just trying to clean up his image after years of talking reckless. Even his own fans are starting to check out. The comments under his recent interviews are brutal. People are saying things like, "Jim been lying for so long he forgot the truth, and he really thinks he can gaslight the whole culture. When the audience you built your career on stops believing you, that's when the game's over." And it's not even about hating on Jim, it's about accountability. He's been in this industry for over 2 decades. You'd think by now he'd learn to just own his story. But every time he tries to sound smarter than the truth, he ends up making himself look like the problem, and that's exactly why fans are done. Because the man who once represented Harlem's realness now comes off like he's living in a fantasy.
What would you say to the people that say when Dipset was at their peak and it mattered most, you wasn't a good rapper? It was all about Cam and Joel's. They was the best rappers in the group.
Who cares about that? What the fuck did you talk about? That's what I don't understand. That makes no sense. At Dipset peak, he wasn't where he at right now. Well, shit, I'm where I'm at right now. I got better. You heard? Most people have been in this game as long as I've been in the game and not here anymore. At all. They way gone. They can't compete. Not on this level. At all. I can compete at the top level right now. Period. Against anybody. Especially from my era group. I spank they boots. I don't care who you put in the booth with me. And I got the money to back it. Right now, tonight. That's the difference. Don't play no games. Tell them bring 100 tonight. Whoever it is. They're not gonna come, bro. They know I'm vicious. I'm not one to play with when it comes to doing music at all.
The saddest part of all this is that Jim Jones could have gone down as a Harlem legend, no question. He had the longevity, the energy, the hustle, everything. But over time, that hunger for validation started eating away at his authenticity. Instead of being proud of his lane, he wanted to be seen as the mastermind. The problem is, the people who were actually there, Cameron, MAE, and even industry vets like Fat Joe, keep reminding everyone who really put in the work. Let's talk about those it is what it is moments for a second. Ma Dollar and Cameron have this running joke where they clown Jim every few episodes. It's never malicious, just factual. They call him out for switching narratives, and fans eat it up because they know it's true. When Ma Dollar said, "Jim's like that dude who copies your homework but still gets it wrong," the internet exploded. It was funny, but it also hit home because every time Jim tries to insert himself into conversations about Dipset history, it feels forced, and it's not just about old beefs. Jim has been trying to act like he's still the face of Harlem rap today, talking about how he influenced the newer generation. But the truth is, the young crowd isn't checking for him like that. They respect his past, sure, but they're not quoting him when you've got artists like A Boogie, Thibio Foreign, and Davies carrying the modern Harlem sound. Jim looks out of touch trying to keep up. Instead of evolving gracefully, he keeps chasing moments, viral interviews, fake controversies, whatever keeps him trending for a week.
I mean, and keep in mind that what I'm doing is for my era of music. You heard? It's a blessing that I'm still here and I'm still being able to be appreciated by the youth and the younger generation coming up. That's a super blessing right there. But when it comes to the people of my era, I want smoke. You dig? Whether they're active or inactive, I'm telling them, I want smoke. You heard? Don't care about no legendary status, none of that type of shit. None of that shit works on the street, bro. I want smoke in the booth. You heard? Who want that? Let's talk about that right now. Who want to meet me in the booth? You heard? We ain't even gotta come to the same studio. Let's be in the same building. You take A room, I take the B room. You heard? Just to make everybody feel comfortable. But I want smoke in the booth.
And keep in mind, Jim Jones keeps saying, what I'm doing is for my era of music, you heard. It's a blessing that I'm still here and still being appreciated by the youth and the younger generation coming up. That's a super blessing right there. But then he switches up, saying, when it comes to the people of my era, I want smoke, you dig. Whether they active or inactive, I'm telling them I want smoke. You heard. Don't care about no legendary status. None of that works on the street, bro. I want smoke in the booth. He even doubles down, saying, who won that? Let's talk about that right now. Who want to meet me in the booth? We ain't even gotta be in the same studio, just the same building. You take the A room, I take the B room, you heard. I want smoke in the booth. That tough talk might have worked years ago, but now it just sounds like desperation. Jim even tried to come at Pusha T last year, calling him overrated and saying he didn't have hits for New York. But fans instantly flipped it back on him, reminding everyone how Pusha dismantled Drake, something Jim could never do to anyone. It turned into another internet roast session, with people saying Jim just picks fights to stay relevant. And honestly, they're not wrong. Jim's whole brand used to be built on loyalty and Harlem pride. Now it's built on excuses and contradictions. Every time he tries to clap back at critics, it just confirms what everyone already knows. He can't take accountability. That's why fans are walking away, because realness is rare in this game. And Jim Jones has lost touch with his own roots, trying to protect a fake image.
I mean, if we're looking at the rappers from your era, it's not many left that's rapping at a high level.
All right, well, then, shit.
Jada, he's still here. He still got something left in the tank.
Jada,
Fab,
nice.
He's still spitting.
Fab is one of my favorite rappers of all time. He's absolutely dumb nice. Like on another level. Niggas really listen to Fab music, that nigga go crazy. Like that nigga is, from a New York standpoint, like that. Like you dig? So every place have their own music, you heard? I'm just coming from a New York standpoint, a tri-state area standpoint. We got our own thing and our own bop out here that we all appreciate and shit like that, you know what I mean? So we appreciate our New York rappers because there's a certain sound, it's just that.
At this point, the writing's on the wall. Jim Jones is losing the one thing that made him who he was, the people's respect. He still tries to move like the CAPO of Harlem. But when your stories don't line up and your peers keep exposing the truth, that title doesn't mean anything anymore. Even his recent attempts to play peacemaker between Dipset members have fallen flat, because nobody trusts his version of events. It's like he's talking just to talk, and no one's taking him seriously anymore. You can see it in the reactions online too. Fans who once cheered for him are now calling him out in real time. Clips from his interviews get reposted with captions like "this man lying again." Or didn't he say something different last month? He's become his own meme, not because people hate him, but because he refuses to stop spinning stories that nobody believes.
Feeling that, you know what I mean, that we get from certain rappers and things like that. And Fab is one of them, Jada is one of them, Fat Joe is one of them. Whenever JB jumping back out, he one of them, like you dig, like. But some of these people lost their rhythm and they cadence, you dig? Like they still stuck where they was at, you heard? And people be getting confused, like you dig, I ain't even gonna get into it. But like I said, I want smoke. Only way to shut me up is to shut me up. Show me I'm bugging.
You think you can go bar for bar with Jada, Fab, or Jay-Z?
I go to bar with anyone. With anyone. You heard? There ain't no beating around the bush. I've been saying it, bro. I want smoke in the booth. You heard? That's the only way to settle this one. We all can put out dope freestyles. We all can put out dope music. I want smoke in the booth.
And the sad part is, it didn't have to be like this. Jim Jones had the opportunity to evolve into a respected elder statesman in hip-hop, the kind of dude who gives game, helps the youth, and uplifts Harlem. But instead, he chose to double down on the same ego-driven behavior that's been chasing him since the Dipset. Days you can't demand respect while rewriting your own past, the streets remember too much. Even Cameron, who's been pretty cool lately, threw a subtle jab on air, saying, some people been lying so long they think it's the truth. Fans knew exactly who he meant, and when my dollar you laughed and said, that's CAPO behavior. It was over. That clip spread like wildfire because everybody knew Jim Jones had just been exposed again live, and on their own platform.
Mimi did. You heard? Like the Thriller in Manila. Let's sell it that way. See how Beasley and Baby Bro just did the one-on-one? You heard? See how Beasley and Lance did? That's what I want. You heard? I want the one-up. I want smoke. I don't care about rankings, bro. I want smoke. I want smoke and I want money. You heard? A ranking never gave me $1 at all. When the ranking come with a check, then I'll be pressed about the ranking. But none of that shit come with a check.
At this point, it's not even about beef anymore. It's about legacy. Jim Jones's career is living proof that you can't fake realness. The same Harlem that once lifted him up is now side-eyeing him, wondering when he'll finally just keep it 100. So yeah, fans are officially done with Jim Jones. They've seen the lies, the backpedaling, the contradictions, and the fake tough talk. What's left now is a man who built his name on loyalty, but lost it all to pride, because in hip-hop, you can rebuild a career, but once you lose credibility, that's game over.